how big a threat is China as it expands to the South China Sea, as it expands down through Indonesia, Australia, New Zealand? What type of threat is it regionally?
Well, our threat in our space is around the Pacific. If countries like Australia and New Zealand don't support Pacific neighbours, then the risk is the Chinese Communist Party starts to infiltrate, starts to gain traction there by using money effectively to buy support from those nations. The real risk here too is that we're seeing more and more threats to our democracy by way of mainstream parties. We have big holes in our donation regime where CCP-backed individuals can utilise New Zealand registered companies to pour money into the parties. The big parties won't do anything about it because they benefit from the money. We have to keep blowing the whistle and we have to keep talking about it. And if we don't continue to support our Pacific neighbours, then eventually we'll see the Pacific taken over by CCP-backed money, and that'll be devastating. We need Australia, New Zealand and the US as well to take a keen eye on the Pacific so the CCP doesn't gain more infiltration there.
Jamie, as people say, oh, the new federal state, you got crazy Miles Guo, you got crazy Steve Bannon. These people just hate the Chinese Communist Party. They're so focused on that, and this is just an instrument for them. What led you to actually kind of weigh and measure and see the folks that are involved? What led you to assess this and then to actually go out and address when they had one of their protests at the embassy?
I've been a member of the New Zealand House of Representatives for about a decade. I was the chief government whip for a period of time. You'd call that the majority whip in your system. And so I've seen up front and up close how CCP-linked organisations and individuals work so hard to gain traction with politicians. I was subject to that interference for some time myself. I woke up, I blew the whistle on donations, and now my job, I see, as a Member of Parliament is to spread the word and let New Zealanders know about what's going on. So seeing whistleblower organisations and people who are New Zealanders of Chinese descent, who love this country, who are patriots, who want to ensure we don't have that interference in this country and want to ensure that the rest of the world is free and democratic, that's worth supporting. And so as a Member of Parliament, I'm happy to stand alongside them and say they're standing up for people that want democracy, want free speech. We need that around the world.